Let's first go to the top story at this hour. This is the government that is going into full throttle with its efforts really to curb the black money problem that the country is facing. Just speaking in Parliament just earlier today, the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley announced that the government has made it mandatory to submit the permanent account number, or what we call PAN, for cash transactions over 2 lakh rupees. Let's hear more from the Finance Minister first.
Very shortly, we would be placing the notification that if you deal in cash more than 2 lakh rupees, a PAN number would be necessary. I'll be placing that notification very shortly before the House.
Okay, we're going to get you much more in terms of what's coming out of the government at this stage, but my colleague Gaurang Sinha is joining us with the latest. Gaurang, that important announcement that came in really by the Finance Minister just earlier in Parliament today, followed by the Revenue Secretary in a press briefing. Just give us the highlights of what that briefing had to say, specifically in terms of what it highlights in terms of those situations that have become a little easier and perhaps those that have become a little more complex.
PAN requirement, as far as most transactions are concerned, has been set as rupees 2 lakh as opposed to 1 lakh, which was earlier announced in the budget due to implementation issues. Apart from this, the reporting requirements have also been tweaked for hotel as well as foreign travel expenses as well. Any transaction above 50,000 crore rupees in cash will require now for the PAN number to be mandatorily quoted as well. Along with this, as far as opening bank accounts is concerned, all non-Jan Dhan accounts as well will now require a PAN number, and this applies to, of course, DMAT accounts as well. Moving to another area which has been also addressed by the Revenue Secretary in this briefing is related to do with the appeals. Now, as far as the tax effect is concerned, a threshold of 4 lakh which used to exist as far as the lower appeal tribunals in income tax and direct tax is concerned, that has been enhanced to rupees 10 lakh, and as far as appeals in high courts is concerned, that limit has also been increased to 20 lakh rupees. Now, the crucial area to note here is the fact that this new provision has actually been implemented retrospectively. So all existing appeal cases which have been started by the tax department which are lower than these thresholds will now automatically be dropped, and that could be a major relief, with the Revenue Secretary saying that close to 50% of the existing cases which are pending in appeals will now be dropped by the tax department.
All right, Gaurang, thanks a lot for really taking us through this. But let's really figure out what all of these measures really mean now that they're out there and the government has made these announcements. I'm going to first bring in, joining us on the phone line, Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan. He's, of course, the Associate Editor at the Hindu Business Line, as well as Rakesh Nangia of Nangia and Company. Thank you so much for coming in to the newsroom here. Mr. Raghuveer, I'm just going to come to you first. Just your first take really on these announcements and how you really see them, whether they actually managed to bring in what we're really looking at as a government and also simplify certain aspects that are key, and also make sure that the black money that they're concerned about is kept in check.
Yeah, I think this is a part of the initiatives of the government to curb the flow of black money into the economy. If you recall, Arun Jaitley in the last budget had announced that all transactions over 1 lakh of rupees will require PAN when it's paid for in cash. Now, there was a lot of protests for that, both amongst the political class and amongst businessmen and traders. And I think it's an acknowledgement of that, that he's now made it 2 lakhs as the limit for all cash transactions. And I think it's pretty much a necessary move, and that will go a long way in curbing generation of black money, especially in the case of property transactions. You know, which along with gold is one of the two areas which has maximum scope for, generating black money in the economy.
All right. Okay. That's of course Mr. Raghuveer telling us what he thinks of this. Mr. Nangia, let me come to you on this. What do you think of these announcements that have been made, and also specifically in terms of certain aspects that are being perhaps tightened, and many more that are also being relaxed?
See, what is the more important thing is, just my colleague has said it, government believes that the domestic black money is much more a bigger issue than the foreign black money was concerned. And if you see the government, the way he's been addressing it, they took certain initiatives in the budget of 2015, and they thought they need to hit the nail on the head. And they said, let's attack the cash consumption, which is really goes unreported, and where a lot of black money really is there in the mainstream. So if you ask me, I believe it's a very, very positive step taken by the government. It shows very clearly the government is very serious to address the menace of the domestic black money is concerned. And all the steps the government has been taking it cumulatively, I believe it will really help in addressing this domestic black money is concerned. Yes, you will have challenges, which will you will have serious challenges. How you're going to really see how it is they cope up with the process and the procedures are concerned. But in my personal opinion, I say it's a very laudable step taken by the government to curb this cash expenditure concern, where substantial part of the black money gets used, consumed, and which is not the taxpayer money.
Sure. And I'm going to ask Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan and Mr. Rakesh Nagia to just hold on, because now we have joining us on the show Mr. Amarpal Chadha. He's EY. And of course, Mr. Chadha, thanks a lot for coming in on the show. Just a quick question to you as we start off. I think you've been hearing what the other guests have to say. Overall, do you feel that the government is simplifying procedures and taking a very practical approach when it comes to really taking effective measures to crack down on black money circulation in the domestic markets?
Yes, thank you very much. I think absolutely a step in the right direction. We definitely see a good opportunity for the government at this point of time to come up with these measures. Makes a lot of sense. We are seeing a trend. You've seen the Black Money Act come. You've seen changes. There is already a very clear guideline under the rules which require PAN disclosure at so many points. So it's a very extensive rule. Now, bringing it further, bringing it down to cover the cash limit, I think it's a step in the right direction and the right timing.
Okay, all right. Step in the right direction and right timing. There's certain transactions that I'd just like your opinions on, and these are the ones that I'm going to look at in terms of the tightening that we've looked at. If I'm not mistaken, at the moment, some of these aspects are, of course, you could say, in terms of the transactions that take place, you can look at hotel and restaurant bills. We're also looking at what's happening on the front of perhaps application to, other banking companies for a credit card. The actual parts of these announcements, like the purchase of sales or sales of goods and services. Now we're looking at a situation where the purchase of any sales of goods and services exceeding 2 lakhs per transaction is going to require PAN card. So I'd just like to go through to my guests for this, starting with you, Mr. Srinivasan. What do you think of some of these particular measures where we've looked at a nature of a transaction that actually now requires a tightening, you could say, earlier than what was expected?
Well, I think the limit that they've set of 2 lakhs is quite comfortable for emergency spending measures, if necessary, where you have to, rush, for instance, to a hospital to pay a bill for emergency treatment, and without quoting the PAN number. But I think largely this fits into the government's objective of going to a non-cash economy. I think the government wants to drive all transactions into either plastic cards or the banking transactions route, so that there is a transaction trail for the government to keep tabs on. And getting a PAN card is not such a difficult exercise these days, so anybody can get that. So if somebody says, no, I'll go pay only by cash in a hotel for staying for 2 nights at 50,000 rupees and carries bundles of cash with them, then I think there is something amiss there. So, it just doesn't make sense unless if you have been laundering money to do that. So it is a laudable thing that they've done this, and I think this will go a long way in making the economy cashless and with an effective transaction trail for the government to keep tabs on.
Sure. Mr. Nagia, would you like to come in on that? Because we've seen Mr. Srinivasan talking about how effective he really thinks these measures are, and what that really means, that he thinks that they are practical as well. So what do you have to say, given the fact that we have, of course, seen tightening of measures on certain transactions as well?
Let me tell you another important thing, basically. See, the government is actually making a ledger account of each PAN number, SSC. And every transaction which you are entering into beyond a certain threshold is getting parked there, and they are going to monitor that. So one of the government thought the cash transactions were really not being reported, were not being collected, information was not being collected, and hence this black money economy was flourishing. So they attacked it exactly the genesis of creation of it, the consumption part is concerned. So the moment you spend 2 lakh rupees plus on any transaction is concerned, it will get parked in your ledger account which the government is maintaining it. And this becomes a good ground for the government to scrutiny you, or scrutiny an SSC or person spending that money. Did he have so much of white money or reportable taxable money and have paid taxes thereon is concerned. So another important thing, let me tell you, which the government did it, where they said, if you want to buy a property above 20,000 rupees, so you have to report up, they banned it actually. So you cannot buy a property or pay any money more than 20,000 rupees in cash is concerned. So I think it's a 360-degree profiling which the government is doing it on the attacking this menace of black money is concerned. And I think this will be a very important step, I can tell you, in the way this economy works actually, will be a very, very important step by the government to see that they are able to address this, the black money generation, or domestic black money generation is concerned. In my personal opinion, as I said it, yes, it is a laudable step by the government, and rightly Srinivasan said it, the finance minister, the prime minister had very made it clear they want to encourage the plastic money, and they're working it out to reduce the transaction cost so that you move to the slowly and gradually to the cashless economy like it happens in the West. So I can say that.
So, Mr. Nangia, you're clearly saying that these are smart moves and you admire what they've done. That's good to hear from both of you. Just bringing in Mr. Chadha once again on this before we conclude. In terms of the practicality and the applicability when it comes to really ensuring that one stays within the compliance measures, Mr. Chadha, what do you have to say in terms of that?
So I think both of the issues, and I second my co-speakers at this point, because I think this will have two impacts. One, definitely on tracking the black money, and the resultant fact is obviously the growth which gets recognized. So all this money, while it's getting recorded, the transactions are coming, I think would definitely lead to a much more compliance-oriented procedures and policies can be made to control this. But I think moving from at this point where we stand to be able to track the cash in the economy would definitely help us see the growth that is there but not seen in the system.
All right, Mr. Chadha, thank you very much. I just want to thank all my guests. That includes, of course, Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Nangia, and Mr. Chadha for coming in. All my guests have very positive things to say in terms of what we've heard from the government, and they seem to agree that we're looking at definitely the right step to the economy and also pragmatic steps that have been taken at this space. I just want to thank you for coming into the newsroom on this issue today. Still ahead on the show.